held to the same standard as the soldiers, under the uniform, code, and these guys are not. And I went through CRC with some of the replacement security guys when they had that Blackwater kind of backlash and everything. They brought in some additional guys. These guys are just the sickest people I have ever met. And I spent a week with them in Fort Benning, and then I ended up, you go to Kuwait for staging. I spent a week with them in Kuwait, where it's just lawlessness on the base in Kuwait. These guys are so scary.
The whole government worldwide is collapsing, and just criminality is flooding into all the departments of power. I want to hear a little bit more. Stay with us. This is key information.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
The global corporate controllers know what they're doing. Hitler, to get power, took the street thugs, the criminals, mercenaries, the veterans of World War I, and he formed the SA. And they stormed to power, beating people up, shooting people, attacking, intimidating, threatening phone calls, burning down shops. His domestic spy force, that's what Obama is announcing. And again, they set it up back under Clinton and Bush, expanded it. They all work on the same team. It's all staged. Now, last time I checked, $60+ billion. That was about a year ago. We shoot another report on that and pull it back up at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. But remember, every month, billions and billions of dollars in $100 bills on giant C-130s. And they give a private to stay quiet and go along with all the corruption, about $30,000 a year. They give different grades of sergeants, hundreds of thousands. And they give the colonels, in some cases, millions. The generals, it's untold. So they want to pay off the troops. They want to pay off the officers to go along with the mercenaries and the killings of Army investigators and the killings of Marine Corps investigators. I mean, I've seen reports where you'll have 20-something investigators killed in 1 year at one base. I mean, they blow their heads off in their rooms or in the dorm and then say they killed themselves. And this is done by design, just like Delta Force and other clandestine groups all over the U.S. went into police chiefs, sheriffs, and others and said, look, we just want you to be our friend with what's coming in the future. We want to give you $100,000. And the people are like, is this a sting? Is this a setup? And they go, no. Department of Defense, National Security, just work with us in some covert training with your police. Let us do domestic operations, secret operations in your town, and we want to give you briefcases of cash. And then the police chiefs we've interviewed, it's in some of my films, Police State 2000, they say no. Then they find out fire chiefs, mayors, they are taking the money. See, we only hear about this from people that say no. And once you've taken $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, they're now, oh, you want an investigation about that money you took? We want you to shut down this drug investigation. We want you to go arrest this person. You see how this works? And a lot of these police chiefs and others, they don't know what to do when there is a Army colonel in their office. This is going back decades ago with a satchel of cash. And they'll give them numbers. They'll say, here's the cards. You can call the commanding general. Here's a presidential letter. Now, if you take this, I need you to sign a national security agreement not to say anything about this. And a lot of them think, well, if it's the government, it must be okay. My wife would like $100,000. So they're everywhere. They run it all. They're all around you. Okay? And now they're going to come out in the open with Army brigades on the streets. And it's just, oh, why is the Army down here? I mean, I remember in 1999, 98, people would bring me videos. You know, they'd just be down at Fiesta down in San Antonio, downtown on the Riverwalk, and there'd be Army and Air Force MPs would just walk up and say, we want to check everybody's IDs. And they'd have police with them. They'd randomly do that. Or they'd set up checkpoints. And then we got video of it. And then it was on the news. Oh, the Army, the Air Force police are helping. Oh, they're helping at accidents. And see, now you hear, oh, yeah, the Army brigades, they're going to help with the jaws of life, get people out of crash cars. And they're going to keep you safe. And they're going to help the police. But then overall, oh, they're going to fight terrorism. And they're going to take your ranches, your farms, your car dealerships, your restaurants. I mean, this is just old-fashioned, hardcore criminality. And see, they want this devil-doggish group of paid-off mercs. Even the military are mercs now. The combat units are the ones getting paid off, and supply units and people that are in key infrastructure. But anyways, finishing up, because I want to get to everybody else, Shauna, you should anonymously write up an article with the basics and post it on prisonplanet.com forum. You should go there and or if you want to go totally public, do that. But this stuff's all been in the news. What you're telling me has been in the news in triplicate, and they just whitewash it. So the Iraq theater is about corrupting our troops, about training them to accept Bolivian and Paraguayan and Colombian mercenaries from the death squads in the 80s. It's about the acceptance of Ugandan troops and South African troops and Pakistani troops. And you mentioned, Marines, from other countries. It's all about just changing the culture. They're moving everything to drones, pilotless aircraft, pilotless tanks. They are moving everything to what small groups can control. And, yes, I am aware that Blackwater and a lot of other groups, they end up being above the rest of the troops. They end up running the security. The foreign merc groups, it's now Blackwater worldwide, no longer U.S., but it's even more overt with the Pakistanis and the Africans. It's like for at least 30 years, one Israeli company guards all the nukes at the United States, in the Army and the Marines and the Air Force and the Navy. They guard the nukes. See, everything's being taken out of U.S. hands. Panama Canal given to China. China, I saw reports last week, taking over all the ports they didn't control. Arabs taking over ports. The son of the Chinese president running a U.S. port. That's how the globalists get control. They move their people in slow motion, creeping death. You understand? I want to bring Shauna back up. Shauna, you still there?
I am. And thanks for continuing to listen, because I've been sitting on this with a lot of fear. I did see several suicides, and while I was there, and I saw so many things, and the day that I left, I hate to admit this, but I had someone fake a Red Cross message to me so that I could get out under emergency circumstances. Because I was very fearful that something was going to happen to me after what I had seen.
Now, were these suicides suspicious?
They were very suspicious. And I also want to mention one more thing that I think is really important to note now that we're going to, have all of our guys combined to their bases or confined. While I was there, there's a CRAM program going on over there where they try to intercept mortar shells and rockets that are incoming. I saw a lot of mortars and a lot of rockets.
Yeah, that's a radar system that triangulates.
Right, and it also fires, a shoot down, anti-trajectory thing. But anyway, I'm not a weapons person, so I don't get it, but I did see it in action. Not very effective. But there was one day when the CRAM guys were there, and they were there to shake hands with General Petraeus in the palace. That particular night, the CRAM that was close to my quarters was taken down for maintenance. And we received the largest number of incoming that we ever did on that base. Now, how is that possible? That if these guys are there for maintenance, that we're taking all this incoming?
Let me tell you what happened. Have you seen my film Terror Storm?
Yes, I actually watched it last night. Thank you for making that available.
Sure. Did you see how they keep catching Israeli and British and U.S. Mercenaries, but regular SAS as well, regular British troops, dressed up with fake beards, attacking U.S. troops?
And what kills me...
Well, no, listen, this is what they do. There was never really a real war, okay? I mean, there's a few, quote, insurgents and people fighting, but that's how they do it. They say, we can't leave because thousands are dying, Iraqis a day, hundreds of U.S. troops a month. We have to fix it. And then now they say, we had the victory, we did fix it. No, they just cut back. This is confirmed in mainstream news. No, they just have mercenaries. Most of the kills have been our troops being killed by the mercs.
I know, and what kills me is, I volunteered some time with the mortuary chaplain.
But see, that's the same thing. It's like they have
and I saw bodies. I saw what the hell's going on over there. And while this is, some of it's hitting the mainstream news, newspapers and any reporters are not allowed on this base, Alex.
Because it's so evil, no one could ever believe that they're actually doing this. But
and I sound like a psycho when I say these things out loud because I think, God, this can't possibly be true.
They've caught Israeli troops, British troops, and mercenaries attacking the Marines and the Army over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. They've caught them. It's admitted. Look,
I know. I
didn't even get to this. I didn't even get to this. In Kosovo, even the people the CIA brought in now want them out. So what did they do? They had the German troops, German intelligence, dress up like Serbs, and they had them over the weekend. This is Reuters, by the way. This is caught. They were caught. Because, see, now people are learning about this.